Ryan Chen has been my best friend since college. He's the kind of guy who can find anything about anyone. A name, a phone number, 20 minutes, and he knows everything. He works in finance, deals with background checks, and loves puzzles. We've been through every stage of life together. He's loyal, sharp, and brutally honest. When he first met Samantha, he smiled politely but said little. Later that night, he told me, "She's beautiful, but something feels off." I laughed and brushed it off as his usual skepticism. Back then, I was deeply in love and completely blind. Samantha had this energy that filled every room she entered. She knew how to make people listen and how to make me feel lucky. Our first months together were perfect. We went out to fancy restaurants almost every weekend. She always picked the places, never cheap, always trending. I paid every bill, and she never even reached for her purse. It didn't bother me at first. I had money and thought treating her was natural. But soon, the pattern became clear. She never offered to split anything. Even coffee dates turned into designer cafe stops. Her social media told a story of luxury and success. But I could see behind it the stress, the overdrawn accounts. She drove a leased BMW that she struggled to afford. Her apartment was stylish, but barely paid for. Still, I convinced myself that love was about patience. She said she wanted to build a life together. She posted pictures of us like we were a movie couple. My friends joked that I was living in a highlight reel. Maybe I was. But behind every smile in those pictures, I saw that locket, always shining just above her heart. I once asked her casually about it on a lazy Sunday morning. She froze for half a second before replying. "It's just jewelry, babe, nothing special." Her tone was light, but her eyes said otherwise. I decided not to push it. People have memories they keep close. Or so I thought. Months passed, and I began shopping for engagement rings. Samantha had very specific taste. She sent me posts of rings that cost more than my car. Still, I wanted to make her happy. My sister helped me pick one, custom design, princess cut. It took weeks of saving and planning. When I proposed, she cried, said yes, and posted everything online. Her video went viral within hours. Thousands of likes, endless comments about true love. But through it all, she never removed the locket. Not even when showing off the ring. People said I was lucky to have her. I believed them until the night everything started to change. A dinner, a birthday, and a single careless sentence that shattered the illusion I lived in. Ryan had always said, if something feels wrong, it usually is. He was right. I just hadn't realized how wrong I truly was. It happened on a Saturday night. We were at a trendy restaurant downtown. The kind of place with candles, soft music, and overpriced wine. It was Haley's birthday, Samantha's younger sister. Ryan came along too, always the perfect wingman. Everything felt normal at first. We laughed, shared stories, and toasted to Haley's new job. Samantha looked stunning, smiling like she owned the world. For a moment, I forgot every doubt. Then Haley said something that froze time. "I still can't believe you wear Tyler's locket everywhere you go." The air went dead silent. Even the sound of clinking glasses disappeared. I looked at Samantha. She turned pale instantly. Ryan raised his eyebrows and mouthed, "Here we go." Haley didn't notice the tension she had just created. She kept talking, completely unaware. "You know, your ex-boyfriend Tyler, the one who moved to San Francisco." I stared at her, pretending to stay calm. Samantha tried to laugh it off. "Oh my God, Haley, not now." But Haley was already deep into her story. They dated for 4 years. He gave her that necklace for their anniversary. I felt my pulse hammering in my chest. The locket shimmered under the warm light, mocking me. Haley giggled, sipping her drink. She's worn it every day since then, even when she dated other guys. Ryan coughed, hiding a smirk behind his glass. Samantha's face turned red, her eyes flashing with panic. I didn't say anything. I just stared at her until she looked away. The rest of the dinner was unbearable. Every smile was forced, every joke hollow. Haley kept chatting, but no one was really listening anymore. When the check came, I paid without a word. The drive home was painfully silent. Streetlights flickered across the windshield as I tried to breathe. Finally, I said, "So the locket from Tyler." Samantha's tone changed immediately. "Ethan, don't turn this into a big deal. It's just a piece of jewelry." "Just jewelry you never take off?" I asked. She crossed her arms, defensive and cold. "You're being insecure. It doesn't mean anything." I stared at her hands, gripping her purse. "Can you take it off then? Just once, for me?" Her answer came fast. "No, I shouldn't have to erase my past to make you comfortable." I nodded slowly. "So it's not just history, it's still alive." She glared at me. "You don't get it, it's part of who I am." I turned away, feeling something inside me break. The woman I loved was still chained to another man. That night, I couldn't sleep. Ryan texted me just 3 words. "Told you so." He didn't need to say more. The next morning, as sunlight hit the locket on her dresser, I knew this wasn't over. I was done being the fool. If she wanted to live in the past, then I'd show her how history really works. The next morning, I called Ryan. He answered with a yawn and said, "You didn't sleep, did you?" "Not a minute," I replied. "I think it's time I teach Samantha a lesson she'll never forget." Ryan laughed softly. "Oh boy, this is going to be good. What's the plan?" I told him I had an idea, something poetic, something that mirrored her logic. If her past mattered that much, then my family history would matter too. I spent the afternoon visiting my father. We talked over coffee like nothing was wrong. Then I said, "Dad, can I put the engagement ring in Grandma's vault?" He looked surprised. "That's unusual, son. Everything okay?" "Just honoring family tradition," I said. He nodded, trusting me completely. That evening, while Samantha was at yoga class, I opened her jewelry box. The ring sat there, glittering like a promise I no longer believed in. I slipped it into a small velvet pouch and drove to the bank. Ryan met me there, grinning like he was watching a spy movie. We signed the forms, sealed the box, and took photos for proof. When it was done, Ryan said, "This is genius and petty in equal measure." "Exactly what I'm going for," I replied. I went home early and cooked dinner, acting normal. When she came back, she smiled as if nothing had happened. "Smells amazing, babe. What's for dinner?" "Just pasta. Oh, and I did some thinking about what you said." She looked wary. "What did I say?" "About history. About how we should respect it." She raised an eyebrow, sensing something off. "You're right," I continued calmly. "In my family, we have a tradition. Engagement rings are kept in a vault until the wedding day." She laughed nervously. "That's ridiculous. Your sister wore hers the whole time." "Different side of the family," I said without missing a beat. "This comes from my mother's side. Grandma's rule. She believed important things belong in safekeeping." Her smile disappeared. "Ethan, where's my ring?" "In the family vault," I said, stirring the pasta. "Don't worry, you'll get it back on our wedding day." Her voice cracked. "You took it without asking." "I secured it," I said calmly. "Just like you secure your sentimental jewelry. Both are symbols of the past. Both deserve respect." She stared at me, speechless. Then she called my father, hoping to expose my lie. He played along perfectly. "Oh yes, dear, it's a proud family tradition," he said warmly. Her face fell when she hung up. For the first time, she looked unsure of herself. I smiled, poured the wine, and said, "To history, Samantha." She didn't raise her glass. That night, she barely spoke. But I knew the game had just begun. She thought she could hide behind her past. Now she'd see what it felt like when the past fought back. 2 days passed, and the silence between us grew heavy. Samantha avoided eye contact, pretending everything was fine. But I could see the tension behind her forced smiles. Ryan called me on Thursday night. "You ready to dig deeper?" he asked. "I want to know everything," I said. He showed up at my place with his work laptop and a serious face. "This is where it gets real," he said as he plugged in the charger. Ryan's firm had access to tools ordinary people could never touch. He opened a program filled with data trackers and social media analyzers. In less than an hour, Samantha's entire digital life appeared on screen. Every post, every comment, even deleted ones resurfaced. We followed the trail like detectives. And there he was, Tyler Johnson. His name appeared again and again. Old photos, shared songs, matching captions, and private comments. Ryan zoomed in on one recent post. Samantha had commented, "So proud of you, babe," with 3 heart emojis. My stomach turned. She called him babe, in public, I said quietly. Ryan nodded grimly. "It gets worse. Look at his bio." The screen showed, "Still thinking about my Texas girl." That was posted just 2 weeks ago. My heart sank. Ryan wasn't done. He clicked into another database, showing financial patterns. "Samantha's drowning," he said flatly. He pulled up her credit report. 7 credit cards, all maxed out. Late payments, collection notices, and a defaulted loan. She was living off borrowed money and appearances. Her BMW lease was 3 months behind. Her apartment rent overdue. She built her whole life on lies, Ryan said. He switched to another tab showing phone activity. Since I paid for our shared phone plan, the records were accessible. Hundreds of texts to a San Francisco number. Dozens of late-night calls. "Guess whose number this is?" Ryan smirked. I didn't answer. "It's Tyler. She's been talking to him for months." I felt my chest tighten, but I stayed silent. Ryan continued. "Remember her marketing conference last month?" "Yeah," I said slowly. "She wasn't at the conference hotel. She stayed at the Four Seasons." He showed me receipts from our joint card. The charges matched Tyler's Instagram posts from that same week. Same view from the balcony, same wine glasses, same breakfast plates. It was undeniable. She had used my money to fly out and cheat on me. Ryan leaned back, shaking his head. "She's good at pretending, man, but not good enough." I stared at the screen until my eyes burned. Every image, every transaction felt like a knife. Ryan closed his laptop gently. "What are you going to do now?" I didn't blink. "I'm going to make sure she remembers this forever." Ryan smiled faintly. "Then, let's make history repeat itself." That night, I stopped being the victim. From that moment on, I became the lesson. The weekend came faster than I expected. Samantha was excited for her friend Melissa's engagement party. She spent the whole morning getting ready, curling her hair, choosing heels. I watched her smile in the mirror, pretending I wasn't dying inside. Ryan texted me before we left. "Tonight's your stage. Let her show who she really is." At the party, everything was elegant. A country club filled with laughter, champagne, and fake compliments. Samantha greeted everyone like she belonged to royalty. Her friends admired her perfect relationship and asked about our wedding. She smiled and lied easily. "The ring's being cleaned," she said. "Ethan's upgrading it with more diamonds." Each excuse was smoother than the last. She didn't know Ryan was nearby, pretending to take pictures but filming everything. As the night went on, I watched her true nature surface. She flirted with men whose wives were steps away. She bragged about my promotion that didn't exist. She invented a honeymoon to Europe we never planned. Every word was another thread of deceit, woven perfectly. Then came the breaking point. A woman beside her, complimented the gold locket. "It's beautiful," she said. "Is it vintage?" Samantha touched it gently, smiling with pride. "Oh, my ex-boyfriend gave it to me. He's doing great now." She didn't even hesitate. "He works for a big tech company in San Francisco. We still talk all the time." Her voice was warm, almost affectionate. And I was standing 10 feet away. Ryan looked at me, eyes wide with disbelief. "She just admitted it," he whispered. I nodded, my pulse steady. That was all I needed. We left the party early. In the car, she talked nonstop about how everyone adored her. When we got home, I sat her down. "Samantha, we need to talk." She sensed the tone and froze. "What about?" I opened my laptop and clicked the folder labeled Truth. Photos, receipts, messages, and call logs filled the screen. "About Tyler," I said quietly. Her face drained of color. She tried to laugh. "Ethan, you're being paranoid. 60 hours of phone calls, hotel receipts, his posts, your comments." Her mouth opened, but no words came out. "Want to deny it again?" I asked. Tears welled up. She whispered, "It was a mistake, I was confused." "No," I said, "you were calculating." She snapped suddenly, shouting through tears. "Fine, yes, I slept with him, he's better than you. He makes real money." The room went silent. Then I said, "You're a liar, Samantha, and you're done." The next morning, I canceled our joint cards and wedding bookings. I called every vendor and pulled my deposits. By noon, her life started to crumble. Her credit failed. Her rent came due. And her phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Ryan texted one final message. "Tyler's married. His wife deserves the truth." I sent her everything. Every picture, every receipt, every lie. By sunset, 2 lives began to collapse. And I didn't feel guilty. I felt free. The fallout started faster than I imagined. By Monday morning, everything was already on fire. Tyler's wife, a woman named Sarah, called me that afternoon. Her voice was calm but shaking. "Thank you for telling me," she said. "I had no idea." I could hear her crying quietly before she hung up. Within hours, Tyler deleted all his social media accounts. By the next day, his company launched an internal investigation. He had used business travel funds for personal affairs. Ryan confirmed it with a grin. "He's done, man. Career over." Samantha called me 30 minutes later, screaming through tears. "What did you do? You ruined his life." "No," I said. "You both did that perfectly without my help." She begged, pleaded, cursed, and cried all in one breath. Then she said the words I expected. "I'll throw away the locket. I'll sign anything, just fix this." I stayed silent for a long time. Finally, I said, "You should have thought of that before." 2 days later, her world crumbled completely. Tyler was fired and facing criminal charges for fraud. His wife filed for divorce and took half his assets. His reputation vanished overnight. Samantha's company cut ties with Tyler's firm. The deal was worth over $2 million. When the contract collapsed, her boss blamed her instantly. Within 48 hours, she was terminated. No warning, no severance. Her credit cards stopped working. Her apartment manager sent eviction notices. Every piece of her perfect image fell apart. She tried to call me again, voice broken and desperate. "Ethan, please. I have nowhere to go. I need help." I opened the door and saw her standing there, soaked from the rain. Her makeup streaked, her hair tangled, eyes hollow. And still around her neck, that same golden locket. "Take it off," I said quietly. She blinked. "What?" "The locket. Take it off and maybe I'll listen." Her hands trembled as she reached for the clasp. But she froze halfway. Tears rolled down her face. "I can't. It means too much to me." I nodded slowly. Then there's nothing left to say. I closed the door gently. Through the window, I watched her sit on the porch, crying in the rain. 20 minutes passed before she finally walked away. Ryan came over later with takeout and 2 cold beers. He handed me one and asked, "So, how does it feel?" I stared at the city lights and said, "Peaceful." He smiled, justice with a side of irony. 6 months later, I heard the rest. Samantha moved back to her parents' house. She worked retail at a clothing store for minimum wage. Her BMW was gone, replaced by her mom's old Honda Civic. Her credit ruined, her name forgotten. Tyler lost everything: job, wife, freedom, respect. Sarah sent me a thank you card. She wrote, "You didn't ruin my marriage, you saved my life." I kept that letter. It reminded me that truth always catches up, no matter how long it takes. Months passed, and the chaos finally settled into silence. I moved to a new apartment overlooking the river. No memories, no ghosts, just quiet. Sometimes I thought about Samantha, not with anger but with distance. She had become a lesson, not a wound. Ryan and I still met every Friday for takeout and laughter. He'd joke, "You should write a book about this." Maybe one day I will. The locket, the lies, the revenge, all of it feels like another lifetime. But I still remember her eyes that night in the rain. How she couldn't let go, even when everything was gone. That's when I realized the truth about people like her. They don't lose because they're caught. They lose because they never learn. And me, I walked away clean. No bitterness, no regret. Just the quiet satisfaction of knowing I saw the truth and acted. Sometimes history repeats itself. Sometimes it rewrites you. Either way, I kept my promise. The past stayed locked where it belonged, and I finally moved on.